If you want to add color to a grayscale painting, there is a very simple approach I sometimes use. So let's start from the beginning and I'll break down the process for you. A lot of people sometimes have a hard time managing colors, drawing, values and edges at the same time. So it's very useful to break down the painting process into more manageable steps or stages. For this painting, for example, we will focus first on establishing a very rough idea with some lines. I wouldn't even call it a line work sketch because it's super rough, but it will help you figure out the composition and the idea you're going for. And now, to make things more simple, we'll try and assign just the values to our main elements. I usually start with color right away, but for now I want to pinpoint the values as accurate as possible, so you have now less to worry about, as you will see in the process, if you watch till the end, please. Alright, so let's quickly go over the elements. We know that the water will probably be the dark value together with the massive trees in the foreground on the right, and from there we know that we want a bit lighter values for the background mountains and even lighter for the sky, of course. Alright, so we're aiming to have a nice, balanced and readable value structure and composition. For now we're completely avoiding the colors, the form and even edges, because we'll address those later. But that being said, you also want to place your brush strokes as accurate as possible so you can make more use out of them later on. And also, to give it more depth and introduce some form, we're adding another group of values that will kind of show the areas that are in the shadow. So we'll describe the lighting a little bit. At this step, you can maybe try to add more details as well to your environment. Grab ideas from reference pictures, of course. I just wanted to add some nice rocks and pebbles around the shore to create those smaller shapes scattered around as well. Great, so now we have established our values, which means that when you're adding color, you can just stick to the already established groups that you have and worry mostly about the hue and the intensity of the color. You can start from the sky because it's the easiest to tackle, and notice how I just went over with a texture brush and stayed within this value range, but just picked a bluish hue with some variation to it, and that's it. And for the background mountains, you don't even have to repaint it with color, just use the color balance tool, which is available in most of the popular software, for example, to give them that colder hue, and make sure that the values stay the same. By turning the image to black and white, you can check that time to time. So notice how economical and minimalistic I am with the brushstrokes I apply. Because we have this underpainting with warm tones, we already have all the information we need. So just with a few brushstrokes, I can already describe the color very effectively, and that's why I wrote in the title that this is the easiest way. Perhaps not technically the easiest way, but in terms of how much you have to think and how much you have to plan, with a nice value underpainting you can accomplish the colors with just a few brush strokes, like I'm doing here with the grass and with the rocks. So definitely try this approach and see where it leads you, or not, completely up to you. So overall, I don't want to have that digital feeling when I paint. That's why I don't play with various layer blending modes, overlay, multiply and all that. I want just to paint on top, and I treat this monochromatic sketch like an underpainting, similar to what oil painting process would look like. The goal is to have more richness, color variation and thickness to the brush strokes. Right, so you remember when I said that your brushstrokes have to be accurate so you can use them later on. Well, notice that all of them are still on the canvas, and sometimes when I add color on top, I just use them as border. This way you can achieve the result faster. So from here on out, you can add richness to your colors, but keep in mind that you have to stay within your established value groups. And lastly, some time spent on the character. This process is pretty straightforward. Use references, of course, if you have questions about anatomy, materials, or anything like that. And I spent just a little bit time on the character. It's really good for scale and storytelling, things like that. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the process. If you did, please consider subscribing or even dropping a like. And of course, don't forget to check out the videos on the channel. If you have any questions about the process, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'm trying to answer as many as I can. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one coming soon.